Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Saturday.
What do you mean Saturday?
You're on Saturday.
Why am I on Saturdays now?
More views.
More views. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Annoyed Gamer. Yes, coming to you now on a Saturday. Me and Michael Pachter on a Saturday. Wow, what a wet dream that is. All right, let's talk Dead Space 3. It's coming out next week. I gotta say, I like this Saturday thing. I can be current, it's fantastic. I was indeed kind of excited to play it, and I wanted to play it on the PC, because let's face it, there have been some great PC ports of games over the last year or so. I mean, Max Payne 3 is really good on the PC. Far Cry 3 is amazing on the PC. Sleeping Dogs, that was another one. That was a really good PC port that I enjoyed way more than the console versions. Why? Because, you know, you've got the option to play keyboard, mouse, or, you know, controller. Games take advantage of DirectX. The shaders are better, the reflections, the draw distances are all much better, and that does add to the atmosphere and the enjoyment of the game. Visceral Games, however, well, let me just read you a quote. Dead Space exec producer Steve Papoutsis had this to say in an interview with Shack News. At our studio, we've always made console games. The biggest thing is we want to make sure the quality of the experience is consistent across all platforms, so we don't have one user base saying it's better on their system. Wow, okay, so really, Steve, no console left behind, is that the new cause at Visceral Games? If you had your way, perhaps would the 360 and PS3 versions of Dead Space 1 or 2 be graphically as good as the Wii version? That's what you're kind of saying, really, is that we don't want any one experience to be better than the other. Whatever happened to striving for excellence? Whatever happened to striving to do the best on each system? What it sounds like to me is that you're being lazy little buggers. I would rather honestly go without a PC version if you're going to go down the route of saying, well, we really don't give a shit about it. We're just going to put it out there. Same resolution as a console, as a 7-year-old console. Although, hang on, I do have another quote from Steve, which might just change my mind. The fact that we're allowing you to control the game with a mouse and keyboard immediately makes the game feel different. Wow, thank you for letting me use a mouse and keyboard on a PC. Steve, I mean, you're just such a fucking giver, man. All right, I'm gonna calm down for a sec, breathe. Microtransactions are the bane of most gamers' existences. They're the bane of my existence. And Dead Space 3 is not immune to them. And I'm using Dead Space 3 as an example because they are topical. But interestingly enough, the producer of Dead Space 3, John Calhoun, has figured out who we can blame. We need to make sure we're expanding our audience as well. There are action game fans and survival horror game fans who are 19 and 20, and they've only played games on their smartphones. And microtransactions are to them a standard part of gaming. It's a different generation, so if we're going to bring these people into our world, let's speak their language, but let's not alienate our fans at the same time. So it's not EA, it's not Visceral, it's not Ubisoft, it's not Activision, it's not the greedy CEOs or the shareholders, most of them who don't give a shit about games. They're not to blame for microtransactions. It's 19, 20, and 21-year-olds. You fuckers. You're responsible for single-handedly ruining AAA game experiences. You little wankers. So I've seen the microtransaction list for the PS3 version of Dead Space 3. So here is the list. There's a bunch of stuff on there. There's the online pass, which, you know, is EA's way of gouging you if you actually buy a used copy of the game. There is a first contact pack that comes down day one, and that's free. The rest of the stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different packs day one. Basically, if you want to get into the game and get the best possible experience, it's going to cost you an extra $41. Putting the grand total in the US before taxes to $101 for Dead Space 3. I remember when $101 would buy me a collector's edition with a great little statue or a book and some soundtracks and a bunch of additional content. Not anymore. Dead Space 3 goes on sale next Tuesday. If you're a PC gamer, I'd say give it a miss. If you're a cooperative gamer or whatever, I'd say give it a miss. I'd also say don't buy any of their microtransaction stuff. And I'm basically saying this, no matter how good the game is. I'm not saying go and hammer it on Metacritic without playing it. I'm saying vote with your wallet. I'm going to cover off some comments from the last show. First comment I want to address is from somebody called Switters Yoni, who decided to take offense at my comments on Kazurai last week and ask why I was so disdainful, disrespectful, and why I exhibited hatred, and then followed up with would I say this all to his face. Disdain, yes, because I felt the comments were really sort of like just ridiculous. Hatred. Hatred. You have no fucking idea what hatred looks like, especially coming from this face. I have nothing but respect for Kazurai as a businessman. I mean, he made PlayStation a huge brand, and now he's trying to fix Sony in general. I will be more than happy to sit down with him or the head of Nintendo, Microsoft, Bethesda, whatever. When somebody says something that's stupid, I'm happy to say to their face, what were you thinking? That was a dumbass comment, really was, because somebody like me can take it and butcher it. Comment 2, now this is something that has come up a couple of times since the turn of the year. And it basically, to paraphrase, says, oh, Nintendo sent you a free Wii U, Marcus. Have they bought you because you've been really nice to them recently? It's a tool I need, and if Nintendo want it reviewed, they have to send it to me. Just like they sent a Wii U to GameTrailers, just like they send them to GameSpot and IGN and every other outlet, just like we get Vitas and PlayStations and stuff like that. The reason that I've been up on Nintendo in the last couple of weeks is nothing to do with the fact that they sent me a free Wii U. It's because I've been playing with the system and there's a couple of good games on there. I love the fact that I can play my Wii U, then take the screen, go to the bathroom, have a shit, and play Mario Brothers. That's fantastic, and it's certainly more fun than the 3DS. Nintendo Direct was great last week. New games coming. Another Nintendo Direct in a couple of weeks, talking about the third parties. I'm excited to go to E3 in a couple of months and see what Nintendo has to offer. Now, that's my gamer inside me. That's why I get excited. Sorted? Good. All right, that's the show for today, for Saturday, or whichever day you watch this on. It really is the internet, doesn't really matter, does it? I'll be back next week at some point. The other thing about it being Saturday, and in particular today, rugby, Wales, Six Nations, Wales versus Ireland. By the time you've watched this, Wales will have either lost or won against Ireland. I hope they have won, because if not, I will be a very sad, drunk, annoyed gamer tonight, as opposed to being a very happy, annoyed gamer tonight. I know you don't like me happy. I'll see you next week. Laters.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.